NBA Straya. How you going? Oh, geez, watch out. It's a holiday show. Oh, Jimmy, you on holidays again? Yeah, I'm hanging out with the fam down in Lawn. This is Casa del Amor Studios. That's right. Either way, it's NBA Australia. I'm your host, James Clements. I'm the editor of CodeBet. It's a very good website. Go check it out. You might have seen this podcasting mug of mine, also on Fox Sports Lab NBA or in the paper. It was a good one this week, actually. The old Fox Sports Lab NBA, hanging out with Carlos Boozer again, talking picks, talking MVP. Anyway, here hanging out, giving you the lowdown on all ins and outs of the NBA season. Just a quick one today because, on holiday, and it's a Saturday. So there you go. Happy St. Patrick's Day to all who celebrate yesterday. I had a few tins. That might surprise you. Steph, he had 50 in a loss. That was pretty funny. Where did they play? Oh, was it on the road, Jimmy? Yes. Is the MVP race getting a bit slippery now? You better believe it. Oh, geez. What else are we going to do today? Some standings catch-up, some yeah-nahs, the game wraps, a flame grill take from Outback Takehouse, and some game previews, and that'll be it. We'll be in and out today. So let's get into it. Bloody hell. Oh, geez, Jim, this is going pretty quick. Yeah, I tell you what, that's what she said. Right, 896. That's the episode number of this one. Let's go.
This is Joe Ingles, and you're listening to NBA Australia.
Watch out for the Shaq attack.
Oh, you better. You better watch out for the Adam Silver attack, I guess, if you're Ja Morant. How about we start there with the daily whoosh. That's right, the whip around. Can you tell I'm flying so just spare today? I've literally got this microphone plugged into like nothing. It's awesome. It's just out here. It's like, sitting around without your undies on. You're just like, yeah, free balling. This is a free ball in NBA Australia. Quick one. So, yeah, Adam Silver goes, oh, yeah, I think we should suspend Ja Morant. And everyone's like, oh, yeah? Because of the gun. Adam Silver's like, oh, probably. Maybe. They run a bit of an investigation, though, into Ja Morant and his alleged gun in the strip club. And he's like, yeah, it wasn't my gun. And everyone else is like, yep, it wasn't Ja's gun. And the NBA's like, 8 games. Like, what the fuck? So hang on a second. Not his gun. Didn't break any rules. Didn't take it on a team plane into team facilities. He was just flashing his buddy's gun at a strip club on video. Now, last time I checked, Colorado, open carry state. Of course, you're probably not meant to take them into a strip club. But it just sort of seems like the NBA went, oh, people didn't like that. We better give them an 8-game suspension. Watch out for the Adam Silver attack, Ja Morant. He needs to throw his weird-looking peen around. Right, anyway, the rest of the... what are the other sort of gear we've got to talk about today? MJ, Michael Jordan, might be selling some of his stake in the Hornets. Many folks will be out there going, well, it's about time, because Charlotte have been shit after MJ bought them. Thing is, Charlotte was shit before he bought them too. He's going to sell it to a group, basically his majority stake in the franchise to Gabe Plotkin, who's already a minority owner there. Oh, sorry, minority governor. We don't say owner anymore because it's a bit too much like slavery. All right. And Atlanta Hawks minority owner. It says owner. It's governor. Rick Schnall. That's a great name. Schnall. Sounds like a fucking transformer. One of the ones that Squid loves. Anyway, so MJ, look, you might wonder, oh, geez, Jim, why would he do that? I don't know. Would you want to keep running the Hornets? Seriously. Ugh. They stink. They absolutely stink. The weirdest part for me, though, is that he is actually the NBA's only majority owner who's black, which seems slightly problematic in a mostly black league. They're like, you can change the name from fucking governor, from owner to governor as much as you like, but as long as like all the fucking owners are white and the majority of the players are black, we've still got a bit of a fucking, I don't know, problem. It's fucking hilarious. What are you morons doing? Anyway, other news, MVP race is getting tighter. Joel Embiid's right there now in terms of favoritism. I'll tell you what, we'll talk about this in a second in yeah-nahs, but Giannis. Just keep an eye out on Giannis. Other news, Lonzo. Oh, geez. Poor Lonzo. This one breaks your heart because he might have to have another big surgery where he misses out on next year as well because they're now concerned about him being able to play basketball again. Like, how fucking bad is this injury? What did you do to your knee, Lonzo? This was actually asked to me as well. We're talking about this in the old Code Bet office the other day. And it's one of those things where you go, yeah, LeVar Ball. He got his kids to the NBA. But at what cost? How much AAU basketball did they play? How many injuries has LaMelo copped? LiAngelo's shit. And Lonzo's fucking career's done after 5 years. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? Like, isn't that a bit chaos? It's like, oh, yeah, nah. We'll run them into the ground when they're 13 and it'll be fine by the time they're 24. Nope. None of them can get through a fucking season without getting injured. Just saying. Might be genetics. Anyway, bit of a tough one for Lonzo. Hopefully he comes back. So they had to look at, the procedure as to whether or not it was worth him sitting out another year. And if it is, he might do that. And that might give him a better chance of actually resuming his NBA career, which is really fucking sad and brutal. Other stuff, Ben Simmons not shut down yet, according to Jacques Vaughn. Jacques got to be looking at his team going, fuck, we should shut him down, though. Because we're not doing too badly. Apart from that loss to the Kings, that was shit. And look, for Box Hill Benny, you just want him healthy. That's all you want. I'm pretty sure Jacques Vaughn just wants him healthy as well. I'm sure Jacques Vaughn would also like him to, I don't know, take some shots here and there. Anywho, and last little bit of news, Bogdan Bogdanovic signed an extension, foregoing his $18 million player option for next year. 4-year extension worth $68 million. Not a bad gig if you can get it. All right, let's fly through some game wraps, and then we'll do a bit of a playoff standing update as well, because it is fucking chaos at the moment, and I'm loving every second of it, just like a pig in shit, are you, Jim? Yes, I am. All right, so the last 2 days' worth of games. So I'm actually recording this on Saturday morning. There are a couple of games going on, but we picked Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday's games on Wednesday night show. So I'll add the remainder of today's games picks at the end of this one and go through Sunday and Monday as well. But what do we got? So we did a show, I believe, Wednesday night, which means we've got the 2 days to cover off. So we had Sixers Cavs. Do you remember that? God, it was a good game. Cavs sort of just gave up the ghost down the stretch. Embiid was immense, 36 and 18 with 4 blocks. My sweet baby Carrots, 24 and 6 for him. But the Cavs just couldn't get anything else really going offensively. Donnie Mitchell, this is it. When Donnie Mitchell's your best player, you saw this in Utah, right? He just has those games where he's just a little bit inefficient and you're like, oh, guess we're not winning this one then. And that's what this game was. He had 21. He shot 9 of 19 and 1 of 7 from downtown. The problem is, at the same time, Darius Rucker, Judy Garland, Darius, 15 points on 17 shots. Gross! 1 of 7 from downtown as well. Mobley and, no, they didn't go the throw Jared Allen in this one, which is a bit tough. Mobley, I thought, did a pretty good job trying to slow down Embiid at times, but without the other half of the thin towers, Embiid just foosted. Seriously. 36 and 18, but the key thing for me was that he had the 6 turnovers, and you're like, yep, that's what kept the Cavs in it. Anyway, give me some Jared Allen as well, and we'd be flying. Go Cleveland. The Heat, they took care of the Grizzlies at home, smash-rated them 138-119. Triple J had 25, bam, had 26 and 8, crushed it. They ran over them in the second and third periods, and the Memphis Grizzlies without Ja Morant, I mean, at the top, I should have mentioned that he got the 8-game suspension, right? He's already served 6 of those games. He has to ramp back up to a bit of conditioning. So he'll be back soon. I'm going to talk about that again in year nars. But anyway, Grizzlies without Ja, just very, very hit and miss at the moment. And they just don't have that one dude to put them over the top. That dude is not Dillon Brooks, because he got a fine for pushing a cameraman, because guess what? Hashtag spoiler alert. Dillon Brooks is a fucking dickhead. The Kings, they beat the Bulls 117-114 in Chicago. The Suvlaki King with a 14-17-10 triple-double. He's awesome. They held on. De'Aaron Fox is awesome. Hit a massive 3 at the end of that game, did De'Aaron Fox to win it, and put them over the top. The Rockets beat the Lakers. Oh, LA. So Anthony Davis is not playing back-to-backs. Do you reckon you could just, at some time, just go, you know what? Let's throw caution to the wind, because we have to make the fucking playoffs. Anthony, get the fuck out there. We're going to beat Houston. My problem is also that this fucking Lakers team without Anthony Davis and LeBron James apparently can't beat the Rockets. Yeesh. 114-110. Kevin Porter Jr., a.k.a. the Soup Nazi, 24, 27, 9 and 6 for him. The Celtics hang on to beat the Wolves 104-102. They get off the schneid as well. 35 and 10 for Jalen. Ant-Man goes for 28, 10 and 7. They came flying back, but the Celtics just held them off. The Mavericks beat the Spurs in overtime 137-128 without Luka or Kyrie. This was a great look that I sort of talked about earlier in the week, right? If the Spurs will keep this close because Dallas just never, ever put a team like this to the sword. Of course, our man Josh Scott Green had 21, 3 and 7. Whew. 3 straight 20-point games for Josh Scott Green. You bloody ripper. But anyway, good job, Mavs, I guess, taking care of one of the 3 worst teams in the NBA. You should be proud. And then the Clippers just sort of manhandled the Warriors a bit. 134-126 at the end. Kawhi had 30. Steph had 50 in the loss. But, of course, where did they play? On the road. So what happened? The Warriors lost. Yep, nailed it. A Steph 50 piece and a loss just hits different, though. The Nuggets on, what was this, yesterday? So, our Friday, I believe. The Nuggets beat the Pistons 119-100. Nikola Jokic beating up on a crap team just to get his name back out there. Who says he's not stat padding? 30, 10, and 9. The Kings tried their hardest to give up the ghost against Brooklyn. 101-96 they win in Brooklyn. The Souvlaki King. What a game. 24 and 21 with 4 blocks. Jesus. The Raptors took care of the Thunder up there in Canada. SGA had 29, but it wasn't enough. 128-111. Pascal Siakam played his ass off in that game. Yeah, 25, 14, and 8. That's got to be a massive relief for all Raptors fans going, hang on a second, he's been shit. It's like, oh, no, he's still good. Pacers beat the Bucks. Yep, that's a thing that happened. Pacers ran over them in the fourth quarter, just kept them away, and they just couldn't get over the top because they went, yeah, we'll play Giannis. He was in foul trouble. They had Holiday. He was the best player for the Bucks. 19, 7, and 11. Middleton, 16 points on 15 shots. No Lopez. Jingles was good, 14 and 5. But if you're going to get beaten by Andrew Nembhard and Aaron Naismith, I would worry about your bona fides for winning the title. Seriously, they didn't even have Halliburton, and they go out there and beat the fucking pants off the Bucks. Hilarious. Nembhard and Naismith went 6 of 9. Nice from downtown. Nembhard put him to the sword with 24. The Rook. You'll love to see that. What else? And then lastly, but not leastly, the Suns held off the Magic down the stretch. I love this Magic team. 116-113. Markelle Fultz. That's right. In the year of our Lord, 2023, Markelle Fultz is a way better NBA player than Ben Simmons. This is a thing that's happened. He had 25, 9, and 7 did Fultz. Love it. Isn't that just a redemption story? Hopefully, Ben Simmons' redemption story is just around the corner. I mean, if you put the redemption story in an IG story, maybe he'd go after it. Maybe. Maybe it'd also steal his fucking engagement ring. Right. Let's do this. Fucking hell, Jim. Settle down. So where does that leave us in terms of the standings? Well, a bit of chaos. The Sixers are absolutely flying. They're tied with the Celtics at the moment in losses in the East. So the 2-3 race is pretty tight. But the crazy part is with that Bucks loss to the Pacers, they're only 2 losses up and 2 games up, basically on top of the Celtics, and only 3 ahead of the Sixers. So there is time for both of those teams to catch the Bucks. The Bucks are 50 and 20. They lose that silly Indiana game, basically playing most of their dudes. Not a great one. The Knicks are 2.5 games behind the Cavs in the 4-5. They've put a little bit of separation after the Nets' loss to the Kings. The Nets now sit 11 games back overall, and that's 1.5 games behind the Knicks for the 5-6. They are still 1.5 games up on the Heat, though. So you feel like the Heat have won a couple on the trot. They're 3 games clear of the Hawks in the 7-8. The Nets just need to stay in the 6 spot, don't they? That's all they want. They just want to play the Sixers or the Celtics, whoever gets that 3, and just get that guaranteed playoff gear, because if they're in the play-in tournament, you'd be way more worried. I'll tell you that much. So the Nets just need to keep winning enough to keep the Heat at bay. And then, so after the Heat, you've got the Hawks in 8. They're a half game ahead of the Raptors in 9, who are then 1.5 games ahead of the shit sandwich, we'll call it. The Wizards, the Pacers, and the Bulls. So the Wizards are 1.5 games behind the Raps, so they're in 10. They're clear in 10 at the moment by a half game ahead of the Pacers and the Bulls. The Pacers aren't even playing Halliburton, and they're still hanging around like a bad smell. 32 and 38. The Bulls just can't win enough to get out of their own way. And you feel like the Bulls are the one team who are actually slightly trying here and there. Their defense has been like top 3 since I think February 1. And they just can't get over the top because they stink. And in the West, the Denver Nuggets, after that recent, geez, Jim, did they have a bit of a losing streak there, did they? Yeah, they lost those 4. It actually gave the Kings a little bit of a look in. The Kings are now 4.5 games back of the Nugs. The Kings won those 2 on the road. They're going to be feeling pretty good about themselves. They're now a half game up on the Grizzlies. That's right, the Kings are clear in the number 2 spot. That is awesome. The Grizzlies are in 3. They're 4 games clear of the Suns. The Suns sit there in the 4 spot, just ahead of the Clippers by a game. The Clippers are ahead of the Warriors by a game in the 6. And then 7 and 8, that's the Wolves and the Mavs tied a game behind the Warriors. So this is going to be chaos. And then you've got the Lakers and the Thunder tied behind them. And then you've got the Jazz and the Pelicans tied behind them. So between your 5-seeded LA Clippers and your 10, well, actually, let's go to your 12 seed, there are 2.5 games. 5 through 12, there are 2.5 games. That is nothing. And to be honest, between 4 and 12, which is the Suns, there are only... Wow, that is chaos. Actually, no, hang on a second. It's 2.5 between 6 and 12. What am I saying? 3.5 between 5 and 12. And that would make it 4.5 between 4 and 12. That's just maths. Now, I'm no maths scientist, but that's not much. Love it. All right, let's do some... We'll quickly fly... I'm not going to do the drops or anything because I don't have them with me. I don't have the iPad plugged in. So basically, the best performances the last couple of days. I'll tell you what, that Suvlaki King game where he had the 24 points, 21 rebounds, 5 assists and 4 blocks against Brooklyn, he fucking dismantled the Nets. It was hilarious. Fultz's 25, 7 and 9. Love that one. Siakam, though, I told you, he just went absolutely ham against OKC. Just looked awesome. 25, 14 and 8. They needed that one. Steph's 50 in the loss. Classic Steph. 50 points. 8 of 14 from downtown. 6 assists. 28, 6 and 12 for James. Had in there. Not bad. But I think Embiid, just taking it to the Cavs on the road. 36 points. 18 rebounds. 3 assists and 4 blocks. Absolute chaos gear. Give it to the big man, Joel Embiid. In terms of spuds of the night, we had Nicky Alexander walking 0 of 5. Pat Bev going 1 of 7 yesterday. That was Thursday. Pretty funny. Classic kind of Pat Bev vibes. He's like, hey, do you want me to be a junkyard dog and like stop this guy? It's like, yes. Do you want me to shoot? No, don't do it. Kevin Huerta went 0 of 4 before getting hurt. MRI has come back clear on him, which is kind of neat. 1 of 6 shooting for Will the Thrill Barton for Toronto against OKC. What are you doing, Will? Not too many other big spuds really flying around. And I'd actually have to check the official stats and see. Well, we don't have the drop anyway, but just think of me playing 311. There you go. Nailed it. Old mate, no mates. I mean, it's a bit of a tough one. Ja Morant just copping a suspension for hanging out with his mates and going, hey, I've got fucking Jerry's gun over here. Look at this. I'm on IG Live. And Adam Silver's like, oh, you can't do that. That's an 8-game suspension, Ja. And he's like, what, for holding my mate's gun? Well, yes, because you're in his strip club. Yeah, I guess. As I've said before, I've got a feeling that the 8-game suspension was because he had his nose buried in a stripper's butthole. Pantsing of the night. Oh, boy. It's got to go to the Rockets pantsing the Lakers. The Rockets are making a bit of a habit of this. They beat the Celtics the other day. They beat the Lakers. They're just out here pantsing everybody. And better than Lonzo Ball, Andrew Nembhard with that game yesterday was absolutely unbloody real. Because, I mean, for the rookie, he just goes out there and just tans the Bucks. Like, they had Giannis. They had Holiday. And Nembhard just goes, yeah, not on my watch, pals. He goes 4 and 9 from downtown, 24 points, 5 assists, takes it to him. You love to see it. Good on you, Andy Nembhard. And then finally, dickhead of the week. It's got to go to Dillon Brooks. Simple as this. Shoving the cameraman. So I don't know if you saw this. He gets fined for it. Absolute shit brain dickhead move. And if you needed a reason for why people hate Dillon Brooks, it's right here, right? He literally just shoves the cameraman. He's going out of bounds and just fucking gives him an extra shove. It's like, Dillon, what are you fucking doing, you absolute wanker? Why shove a guy just doing their job and not doing anything to you, you fucking idiot? Anyway, Dillon Brooks. Talk about him again in a second, but it's not great. All right, we're back in the tick with some Yanars right after this.
This is Cam Glidden.
This is Anthony Drimmick.
This is Mitch McCarron.
This is Jason Kadee.
This is Darryl McDonald.
Hey guys, this is Hugh Greenwood.
Yo, what's going on? This is Illy.
This is Mark Worthington, or commonly known as Wortho, and you're listening to NBA Australia.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA
And you're
Australia.
listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
All right, let's do some Yanars. Brought to you by the NBA Straya shop. Go check out some merch. Check some merch. Get a t-shirt. Get a hoodie. Help a brother out, would you? It's just me over here, just muggins myself, just doing this. On a weekend, I'm hanging out with the fam. I'm just sitting in the corner doing an NBA Straya. Righto, go check it out. NBAstraya.com/shop or click through on the socials. Quick Yanars. Hey, Jimmy, is Giannis the best tip for MVP right now? Yeah, nah. Yeah. Seriously, I think Joker, with that little losing streak, as everything was popping off against him, I think voters will look at that and go, whoa, geez. But then they'll look at Embiid and go, oh, I don't know, he's a bit desperate for it. And they'll look at Giannis's stats all year. They'll see that the Bucks are the number 1 seed. And they'll go, you know who actually deserves this? I mean, he's the best player of both ends. It's Giannis. And then there'll be just enough sneaky Giannis votes where he wins it. And then everyone turns around and goes, hang on a second, that's his third. Ah, shit. We've just given him 3 MVPs. That's unbelievable. So that's pretty funny. But I kind of think that Giannis is making a pretty good case for it anyway. I mean, yes, they lost to Indy. That's a bit of a tough one. But, I mean, Giannis is averaging a 31.4 point, 11.9 rebound, 5.5 assist per game season. Embiid's at 33.5 points, 10.2 rebounds. Joker's at 24.8 points, 11.9 rebounds, same as Giannis, and 9.9 assists. So if Joker ends up under the triple-double, I'm just saying, keep an eye out for Giannis. He's played the same amount of games as Embiid so far. Joker's got like at least the longevity where he's played 62. You feel like Embiid has taken over favoritism in some bookies, especially in the States, so that's why everyone's sort of flipping their lids about it, but I'm just saying, keep an eye on Giannis. It's a 3-person race. Brad McEagan had a good one too. So after Greeny had his 3rd straight 20-point game, did Scott leave his run too late to get past the girl's name, Lauri Markkanen, for Most Improved Player of the Year? Yeah, nah. Yeah, he left this way too late. But because there was a moment there where Greeny was on this, but I mean, if he'd been averaging 20 points a game for maybe, I don't know, a month, would be good. Maybe he can go on and do that. Who knows? But Lowry went from like 14 points a game to like 25 points a game. Basically, given the chance, he's dominated in Utah. He's crushed it. He's been awesome. Greeny's still like a pretty, well-regarded role player. Whereas Lowry turned himself into a fucking all-star. And SGA went from really fucking good to fucking super-duper good. So yeah, Greeny doesn't have much of a chance, and he left it a little bit late. This is what happens when you play with NBA Kanye. Everybody just goes down the Googler. And then when he fucks off, everyone looks great again. Let's go, Greeny. Jesse Philpott had a good one. NBA Straya, has Dillon Brooks taken over as the most punchable man in the NBA yet? Yeah, nah, yes. Seriously. Like, name me an NBA player who doesn't want to just give fucking Dillon Brooks a quick 1-2 Costa Zoo. Well, does that now become 1-2 Tim Zoo? Maybe. But still, Dillon Brooks, just Austin Rivers, he at least seems vaguely like he's an annoying little prick, don't get me wrong. But he seems like a vaguely thoughtful guy. Dillon Brooks just seems like a fuckhead. He's definitely the kid at your school where you're just like, everyone's fucking sick here. Would you fuck off? Just, look, go find the other dipshits and you can hang out with them. But you can't hang out with us, Dylan. Anyway, last one. Should Jar have been suspended? Yeah, nah. This might also be the unpopular opinion of the day. Unpopular opinion of the day. I think if you do an investigation and you go, well, it wasn't his gun. He didn't take it anywhere. He didn't do anything illegal. but we're suspending him 8 games for conduct unbecoming of the NBA. Yes, he's already set out 6 games, but he sat down with Adam Silver. He's a very nice, polite young man, is our Jar. 8-game suspension. It's like, what the fuck? For what? For holding his mate's gun in a video? I don't know. It just doesn't sit quite right with me. It's just like Adam Silver going, what's the lowest hanging fruit I can do to look like a tough guy? It's like, we'll suspend Jar for 8 games. Like, if he didn't do anything wrong, though, what are you fucking suspending him for, Adam? What are you suspending him for? All right, really quick Outback Takehouse. It is Saturday at Outback. You know what that is? Wallaby burgers. That's right. On the way down here to Lawn, we saw about 87 different wallabies. Chucked 2 of them in the back after we fucking mowed them down. And they mash up real nice for burgers, I'll tell you that much. That's right, Wallaby burgers. Only at Outback. And today's Flame Grill Take is, you know what? Dillon Brooks is well within his right to shove an innocent cameraman. That cameraman should have gotten out of his way on the other side of the stanchion while looking the other way. While just doing his job. Fucking Dillon Brooks, what a piece of shit. Seriously, I can't even keep that one together. That's not an Outback Takehouse. Outback Takehouse is, Giannis is your MVP. I'm just saying. Let's do it. All right, quick break. Be back with Strayan Player Watch right after this.
This is Matthew Delvedova and you're listening to NBA Straya.
All right, Strayan Player Watch. Let's do it. No Simo, obviously. Oh, we haven't shut him down yet, but we might. Jacques Vaughn clearly hates Australians. Hasn't played Paddy Mills since Paddy came in and lit up the Bucks for 23 points in 31 minutes because Jacques Vaughn doesn't know his ass from his elbow and hates Australians. Our man, Rock'em Sock'em Block'em Jock'em Jock Landale, the Rooster, after his 12-3-2 against the Bucks the other day against the Magic Men, he had 8 points, 3 rebounds and 2 assists in only 13 minutes, shot 4 of 6 from the floor, did Jock. Absolutely crushing it. The Vacuum, Dyson Daniels, you might remember him back on Wednesday airballing that shot against the Lakers. Pelicans, I don't think they've played since, so there you go. He had the 2 rebounds, 2 assists in that one, though. I think the Pelicans played today. Jack White, boom, 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 boom. Oh, how is that fucking... Well, the stupidest people in the world are like, oh, Meg White, yeah, bad drummer on Seven Nation Army. It's like, all right, tell me you're a fucking moron without just blatantly saying that you're a fucking moron. If the drumming suits the song, then that's all it needs. Anyway, Jack White hasn't gotten out there since the 9th against Chicago, but he's been crushing in the G League, which you'll love to see. Greeny, the Mavs, after his 21-3-7 against the Spurs the other day, that was his 3rd straight 20-point game. He's gone 21-10-4, 23-5-7, 21-3-7. He shot 9 of 18 against the Spurs and 2 of 5 from downtown. You'd love to see it. Aussie Matty T. He had that 15-8-3 against the Knickerbockers in New York City. Absolutely smash-rated it. 15-8-3. God, I love him. God, I hate Doc Rivers for burying him on the bench. Doc, you fucking moron. 6 of 11 from the floor, 2 of 5 from downtown for Matty T. He had 3 steals and a block as well. Absolute menace. Dele hasn't gotten back out there since the 7th of March. He's probably busy out there celebrating some Paddy's Day somewhere. Jinglin' Joe Ingles, as mentioned, he had that 14 points against the Pacers. The only one who wasn't covering his ass. 5 rebounds, 4 of 5 from downtown. They're the only shots he took. Jingles has found his stroke. He's not had a game all March where he's not hit a 3. He's gone 4 of 7, 1 of 2, 4 of 8, 2 of 3, 2 of 4, 5 of 6, 2 of 7, and 4 of 5 from downtown. Just got to keep that up through the playoffs now, Jingles. And, of course, Josh Giddey yesterday, 13-7-1 against the Raptors in that loss. He shot 6 of 11, 1 of 2 from downtown. Speaking of a man who's hit a lot of 3s in a row, he's only had 1 game in March where he's not hit a 3. He went 0 of 3 back on the 4th against Utah. But the 13-7-1 with 1 steal, looking good. I'll tell you what, if his mates could hit a fucking shot, those assist numbers would have been skyrocketing, I reckon. All right, the Andrew Gaze Gray Mumber Award for Outstanding Achievement in the Field of Excellence. I think we're going to give this one, it's got to be Steph. Like that 50-point game again, you're just like, come on. Steph, you're almost taking the piss at this point. Jesus, I'll tell you. He's just so good. And you go, yep, the only reason, the only way they're actually in half these games is because Steph is a fucking magician. So give me the 50 points for Steph in a losing effort. What else? Paddy Mills Game Day, Baller Game Day Twitter check-in. Let's quickly look at what he's been up to of late. Has our man Paddy Thrills. He actually had some good ones of the he and the missus again, just out there crushing it. But this was a good one. He went to, so South by Southwest was last week. You might remember that my actual career was always as a music journalist. So I've been to a million South by Southwest, and they do have Australia House. And Paddy actually rocked up to it this year. Of course, the year that I don't go, it's fucking Paddy Mills there. But anyway, he sat there with King Stingray and Mabu Mabu, which is good. I love that one. It's a Torres Strait owned business making indigenous food, and that's awesome. That's the one in Fed Square. But either way, grateful for the opportunity to sit on a panel alongside Mabu Mabu and King Stingray to discuss the importance of the connection between country and identity, the power of storytelling, and empowering and preserving culture. If anyone is visiting Australia anytime soon, I make a decent travel guide. # See Australia. How good would that be? He's go, I'm going to Australia. Hey, Paddy, do you want to give us a tour, mate? He'd be like, oh, yeah, sick as. But it would have been a great one down there at Austin. Good to see him and King Stingray hanging out, causing a bit of havoc at Australia House. Paddy Mills, what an ambassador for this country. What a fucking legend. Seriously, what more can we get this man to do? PM? Yeah, Paddy for PM. I mean, that's been a long-running campaign. But anyway, right, so how do we go on the picks? Let's do some game previews. Game previews. Thanks, Inadvertent Bane. Not a problem, Jimmy. Are you excited for the weekend with the family? I am. That's why I'm trying to rush through this show. Can you tell? So Thursday, we went... Oof. Yep, nah. 1. Oh, geez. 2. We went 3 of 7. That's not great against the spread. And then head-to-head yesterday, we went 1, 2, 3 of 5. So that's right. 3 of 5. So what's that? 6 of 12. We just made 50%. So today we had the Sixers over the Hornets. They're playing now. Hawks over the Warriors. They're playing now. And the Cavs over the Wiz. They're playing now. The rest of the games today, I think these haven't started yet. Wolves plus 2.5 against the Bulls. I just trust the Wolves a little bit more. The Bulls, look, their defense is all right, but I don't know. Just give me the Wolves. So much more talent. Pelicans minus 5.5 over the Rockets. Grizzlies minus 8.5 over the Spurs. The Celtics 5.5 point favorites against the Blazers. I love that one. And the Lakers against the Mavs. Anthony Davis, this Mavs team with no size. Give me the Lakers minus 4.5 as well. So apart from the Wolves, they're all actual favourites, but still, Wolves are plus 2.5 against the Bulls. Don't mind that. Tomorrow, we've got the Nuggets minus 1.5 against the Knicks. I'm taking that in a heartbeat. Joker in MSG. If he wants to win the MVP, big game. Magic at the Clippers. Magic back-to-back, well, a weekend sort of spent in LA. Not great for a young team. Give me the Clippers minus 8.5. That's a belting. Pacers plus 6.5 against the Pacers. This all depends on whether or not we've got Halliburton. If they have Halliburton, taking the plus 6.5 for the Pacers. If they don't, taking the Sixers minus 6.5. It's all dependent on the Halliburton, because otherwise I think they get killed. What do we got? Raptors hosting the Wolves. Wolves on a back-to-back. Give me the Raptors minus 5.5, especially with the size of Teenage Mutant Jakob Poeltl and Siakam finding a nice little vein of form. Kings at minus 2.5 against the Wizards. The Kings, look, if they get winning these road games against these shitty East teams, they'd be laughing. They beat the Bulls, they beat the Nets. If they can beat the Wiz, that's what you want to do. That's what you got to do if you want to be the 2 seed in the West. Just saying. Give me the Kings minus 2.5. Heat, they go to the Bulls. They're 2.5 point favourites. Jimmy Butler against his old team. Love this spot. Give me the Heat minus 2.5. And then we don't have lines for the Warriors at Grizzlies, but I love this one. So, Jimmy, where are the Warriors playing? It's on the road. Are they going to win this one? Not usually, but this is the Grizzlies. They're going to fucking kill them. Seriously, they've won, 7 road games all season, the Warriors. They hate the Grizzlies. This is going to be awesome. Draymond and Dillon Brooks, punch-ons. Let's fucking go. I like the Warriors to win this one outright. Fuck them. I love the Grizzlies. Not so much at the moment. Give me some Steven Adams, but geez, Warriors should win that. And the Celtics at the Jazz. There's no line for that, but I'll take Boston. Even on a back-to-back going from Portland, taking on Utah. I'll take the Celtics head-to-head. Keep an eye on the Jazz line, though, once it actually comes out. And then Monday, because we'll do a show Monday night, I reckon. Nuggets at Nets. I'll take the Nets to beat the Nuggets on a New York back-to-back. Suns at Thunder. I'll take the Suns. They've looked a little bit up and down, but they should be just a bit too good, even on the road in OKC. The Suns need to keep winning if they want to stay in that 4 spot. Just saying. Hawks at Spurs. I love the Hawks in that one because no one cares about it, so the Hawks should win it. But of course, it's the Spurs. Watch them play spoiler. Keep an eye on the line for the Spurs there. Just saying. Spurs line. But we'll take the Hawks outright. Heat at Pistons. This is the Heat on a back-to-back in Detroit, having just played in Chicago. Heat should take care of business there. Pelicans at the Rockets. I like the Pels. The Rockets, look, they've just played spoiler in the last week or so in hilarious fashion. The Pelicans should be just a little bit too good, though. They've had a nice little rest of the Pels, so give me the Pels at Houston. Raptors Bucks. This is a great matchup, and this might end up being our 1-8 playoff matchup too. Raptors can give them a bit of a run for their money, but the Raptors are on a back-to-back, having just played the Wolves. This is a tough one, so give me the Bucks pretty easily. Clippers at Blazers. This is actually handy too. These are a couple of teams that have traded with each other a few times. Norm Powell, Lord Robert Covington. I expect the Clippers to take care of the Blazers in Portland. And then finally, the Magic Men against the Lakers. The Magic on an LA back-to-back. Bit of a rough one for the Magic Men, right? I'll take the Lakers over the Magic. And there you go. There's a very quick NBA Straya for it. Turns out, when I don't waffle on and just fucking, have a million drops and talk a bunch of shit, we can actually knock this over in under 40 minutes. Not bad. Hey, Jimmy, is it also because you want to go for a swim? Yes. Yes, it is. I want to swim and drink some beers with my family. Happy 40th wedding anniversary to my parents. That's why we're all hanging out. We've got myself and my younger brothers, all the families, all the squids. They're all running around causing shit tons of havoc. And I just snuck upstairs and quickly recorded this one. So, look, props to Mum and Dad. How good's that? Legendary shit. 40 years is a long fucking time to put up with somebody. They've obviously put up with me for a long time of that too. So, in the interceding, I don't know, next 40 years, hopefully they last that much longer. But it's been awesome. Love them to death. Hopefully your parents are doing all right. Hopefully you're doing all right there too. This is it for NBA Straight for this week. As I said, I reckon we'll be back on Monday for a Monday night show. Monday Arvo, something like that. Wrap up those games, wrap up the weekend for you. In the meantime, make sure you're following NBA Australia on Twitter, Facebook, IG, all over the socials. We should be back daily. I reckon we'll try to get 3 shows in next week. And we should be ramping up to daily pretty soon after that. NFL Australia, myself and Gaz will be recording a new NFL Australia very, very soon. Absolute chaos at the moment with Aaron Rodgers and co. Lots of movement, lots of signings, lots of cuts. Oh, it's absolute chaos at the minute. And what else? Rating, review, bang those in. As I've said before, we've changed the back end for this show, so if you can rate, review it, star it, whatever you need to do, that would be really fucking handy. Because with the new back end, it's all gone a bit squirrely. Tell a mate as well, if they're not downloading NBA Australia, what are they doing? Jesus. What else? Merch, nbaaustralia.com/shop, and big thanks to From Oslo for the intro and outro song. Check out the other bands who help us out every show here. Joshua De Laurentiis, Fascinator, Goldmines, Ramshackle Army, iOS Tech Jedi, Green, and Dozer for all the tunes you hear throughout the show. Smash them all on Bandcamp, Triple J and Earth, Face, Apple Music, Spotify. Remember, NBA Australia supports Australian bands. And we'll close out today's show with a special weekend cooking with Bainesy. He's going to go do a big brisket. And we'll catch you Monday, you dickheads. Have a good weekend. This is NBA Australia saying, look after yourselves, would ya? Congrats to Mum and Dad. And later, hosen.
Cooking with Bainesy is filmed in front of a live, socially distanced audience. And now it's time for Cooking with Bainesy, with your host, Aaron Bangers Baines. All right. G'day. It's good to see the smattering of you here in this studio. This is amazing. It's nice to see you're all wearing your face mask and you're all socially distanced. Oh, that's beautiful, it is. But the best part is this is Cooking with Bainesy, and I'm your host, Aaron Bangers Baines. And look, in this here very special socially distanced episode, I'm going to get you to whip up an absolute treat. That's right, it's one of my all-time Aussie favourites. You can have it whenever. It's probably the best slab of meat you'll ever bloody eat. Because that's right, It's the secret Bangers Brisket Barbie Bonanza, straight out of Texas. You little ripper. Texas, Australia, I'll tell you what. That's right, I love me a big old slab of brisket cooked up on the barbie for about 8 years. Or in this case, about 8 hours. And it's oozy as, mate. You might think it's a bit complicated, but there's nothing less complicated than just cooking some meat. And if you really do it properly and get all your sides bang on, it'll help you keep up this physique, you know what I'm talking about. All right, so let's get stuck in. It is bloody simple, mate. All you gotta do is go down to your butcher, ask him for his best bit of brisket. You might have to call ahead or even ask him, just walk past a few days beforehand, whatever. It's bloody worth it. Get the best brisket you can. Then you duck over to the soupy, get your gear for your spice mix. Now, this is Banger Spice Mix. Brown sugar, paprika, onion, garlic, salt, some mustard, some cumin, and a bit of black pepper. And you're laughing. Get some gear for your sauce. You need some vinegar, some ketchup, or as I call it, tomato sauce, Worcestershire sauce, garlic, and some of those spices. Just toss them in. Go fucking mad. Now, get some sides. Load up with your sides at the soupy. Some green beans, some mac and cheese, a thing of coleslaw, plenty of potatoes to get more whipped than my mate Simo when he was with that Kardashian. There you go. Now, fire up your barbie. Get her up to a nice even 120. Look, you can use charcoal, you can use gas. It doesn't bloody matter. If you're using charcoal, throw in some tasty, wood chips in there for some smoky flavour if you want. I personally don't give a fuck, mate. You can just chuck it on the grill. Just gas, doesn't matter, mate. Just, now, mix your spices together. Mix them all up. There you go. Now rub them in all over your brisket. Now, some people like to cut the fat back. You can just leave it on. Doesn't matter. Just rub it all in nice and even like you're massaging my big mate Bogey's hammy after a big game. Oh, he gets you to do it and it's fucking great. I'll tell you what. But anyway, let her sit there for a bit if you want after you've rubbed that all in. Nice looking, tasty, big slab of meat. Leave it, half an hour to an hour, whatever. She's right. Then bang her on. Just bang her on the barbie. Close the lid, bit of foil underneath it, and away you go. Let that bastard cook for 8 to 10 hours. Simple. I mean, in the meantime, just keep an eye on the temperature. Crack a slab. Check the internal temperature of the meat every so often. You want it around 75 degrees once she's cooked. Neck a bunch of 10s. Watch some footy. Then with about an hour until she's good, get to work on your sides. Whip your potatoes. Cook your greens, your mac and cheese. Dump your coleslaw out. Put it all on some nice little plates so it all looks nice and neat. It'll look special as. Rip the brisket out. Sit there for an hour. Bang. Bob's your bloody uncle. Look at this. I'm just slicing it open. Look at that bloody brisket. That is bloody mouth-watering, that is. Mate, you can put it on sliders or you can just eat it raw dog. It doesn't matter. I'm going to slice this up, put it on a plate. Bob's your bloody Barbie-loving uncle. It is awesome. My friends, this is an absolute bloody ripper of a Bangers Brisket Barbie Bonanza. It is delicious. And it'll dead set impress all your mates and all the Sheilas. Don't you worry about that. All right, so I'm just getting stuck in. This is bloody delicious. Do it at home yourselves. You'll have heaps left over to take to work for lunch, whatever, mate. You will love it. Just look how bloody... Look, I've cooked enough for all of you, so you're going to love it. There you go. All right, tune in next week to NBA Straya for a new recipe, and we will see you then on the next episode of Cooking with Bainesy.